guys, Shelly here with the Gray Wren Nest. I am so excited to show you my garden. It is going into the second week of August. And wow, look, aren't these stunning? They're turning colors and I can't wait to show you all my hydrangeas and the beautiful changes that I see. So take a look at this vanilla strawberry hydrangea tree. It is just stunning. We have had several storms here in Ohio 6B, lots of rain. One day we had almost an inch of rain in a day and over 2 inches in a week. Just unbelievable amounts of water. And yes, it's drooping a bit, but at least it's not touching the ground like I've seen some trees do. But the little bit of droop here, not bad for all the rain we've had. Let's get a little closer. A little bit of brown, but mainly turning that beautiful, beautiful strawberry color. Sorry for the air conditioner sound in the background. Not much I can do about that, but I hope it's not annoying you. But I want you to see this one way up here. I know it's probably hard to tell, but it is gigantic and it's pointing straight up. So that's what makes my tree look so tall. There's its friend, and over here's another friend. Look at that. I wish I could get up there and show you how big it is, but it is way bigger than my head. I mean, it's gigantic. This tree is 5 years old. And the sedum underneath loves its spot, and it will soon turn its beautiful autumn color as well. Next year I'm going to probably have to figure something else out, because this tree is finally getting to the stage where it's giving more shade at the bottom than a lot of sun. And I just know that this plant needs more sun or it'll start drooping and maybe not be as full and vibrant. So I'm going to replant that someplace else and put something under this. I was thinking maybe some Heuchera corabels would be beautiful under it. What would you put under this tree? This is my side yard. This faces the east. I'll get to those hydrangeas in a minute, but look at this Carl Forester grass. I love it when it sways in the wind. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I just love that. In my earlier videos, you will see when it was a pretty mauve color, and now it's in its wheat stage. Usually I wait and cut them back in March. There, now the air conditioner's off. Usually I cut this back in March all the way to the ground, because it will die down when it gets real cold. But it grows back up fast and furious each summer, and it is just a stunner. This is my Vista Jazzberry, and if you remember earlier in the spring when I planted it, it was 5 plants, and it was just kind of sitting in that 10 pot down there, and you could actually see down in the pot, and I said, don't worry, that Vista Jazzberry will cover the top and go down the sides, and you will never guess that there weren't enough plants to actually put in this pot. I'll show you what I mean. Can you see down in there? I have it propped up on little containers and then just a regular pot. Can you see what I mean? And it, wasn't real pretty in the beginning, but the final end is that it is just one gorgeous ball of flowers. And it is hooked up on drip. It gets drip 2 times 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening when the weather is in the high 80s, going into the 90s. And I also fertilize it once a week with Proven Winners water-soluble fertilizer. Making my way down here, I have lovely Bobos and little Quickfires. Let's look at these Quickfires first. These are also 5 years old. Look at this color. Oh, wow. Isn't that beautiful? And honestly, my Bobos have not disappointed this year. Aren't they just beautiful? Last year I was a little disappointed, but I think it was because we were just so hot. I mean, it was a scorcher last summer and it was dry, dry, dry. And I just couldn't keep up with the watering as much as they needed, and it showed in the size of the blooms. But this year, the abundance of water that we've had with all the rain, it's been an unusually wet summer here in Ohio. Now, I did post a video earlier with all of the stats of the hydrangeas. So please go take a look at my earlier videos if you want to know more details on each of these. Right now, I just want to show off the coloring. Look at this beautiful view. Going down the side of the hill here, it's still, this is east and north. So it gets the north sun and the east sun. These are yellow false cypress bushes. They usually get big and bushy and, in my opinion, rather ugly. So I do keep them trimmed. I just love them for their color. And I don't want to forget, look at that Hoopla vivid orchid. That is so pretty. I have that going down this little stair step of a wall. Oh, and let's just take a moment to take in this beauty. This is the back of my house. And look at those ferns at the top. They are loving life. I'll go up on the back porch so that you can see how big they truly are. And then look at these hydrangea trees. We'll get a closer look. Here is a Menards version of Limelight with Hoopla Vivid Orchid underplanted. Just look at the size of that tree. It is in a pot. It is on drip, just like the rest of my plants. And this tree is actually 2 years old. And it sure didn't disappoint at all. From a distance, it looks like those buds are actually brown, but they're not. They're soft pink, and they're stunning. Let's take a look. It just turns into a blushy pink. And I think that they are actually turning a lot sooner this season because we have had an unseasonably cool week last week and the week before, down in the 50s and 60s at night. But then it would get up in the 70s and maybe low 80s, which is really unheard of in August in Ohio, but we've had a strange summer. This is a Menards version of Pinky Winky, and this is the one that I have the grid system in. We'll take a look at that grid system here in a minute. I am so ever impressed with how this grid system has work this year. See how those buds are still nice and tall on top? I know I'm going to have to make the system bigger next year, just to encompass how tall these leaves and blooms actually get. It'll help hold up those bottom ones a little taller. But if I didn't have the grid system in there, it would be like an inverted umbrella, dipping to the ground. So I'm not too horribly upset about this right here. I think it's looking pretty good. Let's take a closer look. Let's see. So you can see the grid system right there. And that's just about where they start to droop, is at the top of that grid system. So it's obvious to me that I'm going to have to get that grid system even higher next year. And it's funny, when I first did it, I thought, oh, I've got the grid system way too high. There's no way I'm going to be able to cover it. And sure enough, way down here at the bottom of the grid system, all the leaves cover it and you can't even see it. And this green fencing came from Lowe's. It's just that soft green plastic. And here's another view of the back. Let's go take a look at those other hydrangeas on the hill. Here's from this point of view. I'm on the west side of my house now. I'm actually standing in my neighbor's yard. Sometimes you don't appreciate what you have until you see it from another point of view. You kind of get used to what you're seeing, and it is so pretty. Here are the ferns again. You can see the white drip system going up to each of the plants. This is the gorgeous hill that we put in. Lots of rocks and steps to get up the hill. This was a nightmare to actually have the mowers do. I was always afraid that the mowers would tip over. So not only for them, but for us, for safety reasons, we put the steps in. And the lilies are done, but I'm still getting quite a few blooms, sporadic blooms here and there. And they will do this all season long, just sporadically now. But I love the foliage. And it surrounds my beautiful roses. They're in full bloom right now again. Let's take a look. This is Italian ice, proven winners Italian ice. And in between my Italian ice, I have them staggered. These start out peach, and then they turn pink, and then they turn white. And they will also get speckles on them. I don't know if you can see the speckles here. Let me see if I can find one. I'll show you here in a minute. This is Easy Elegance Calypso Rose. Here's a sample of the speckles. And then they'll turn all white. This is looking from the top of the steps, flanked with roses on each side. And I also have sedum along the rocks. This is Proven Winners Limelight Prime. And if you are hunting for a sturdy hydrangea, look no further. Limelight Prime is fabulous. This is like an alleyway of storms in between two houses. It looks like we're really close together, but this is more like a V as it goes down to the pond. So yeah, our back patios are close. We sit and chit chat back and forth. But the actual lot acreage around the front and sides of the house are rather big. So this is the closest point to the neighbor. But through this area, the wind blows and howls, and I often wonder if it's just going to uproot these hydrangeas, but it never phases them. Look at them, tall and sturdy. They're loving life. They're beautiful and white. I think the last time I showed you, they were just coming out with some more of their green. And look, I'm actually getting a couple of them that are starting to turn. Can you see that pink? Kind of have a shadow here. Let's see if I can get this pink. There we go. So they're starting to turn. Isn't that beautiful? I honestly think too, the main reason that these are staying so upright is I actually planted them a little closer together than recommended. I think they're more like 3 feet apart versus the normal. I think they get up to 4 or 5 feet wide. I forget, but whatever the recommendation was, I certainly didn't follow it. It's a lot closer, but I think they hold each other up nicely. And then in front of that, my beautiful shrubs again, flanked by these beautiful Supertunias. I mirrored it the same on each side, these Hoopla Vivid Orchid Supertunias. So each side of the house has the same, and then of course in the very back, so that it all matches. I'm one of these matchy people. And look at this. Now my leaves are drooping a little bit because they are hungry for water, and my watering system won't go off until about 7 this evening. So we have a little bit of time. So the 20 minutes of watering in the morning got them to about this point, and now they're saying, I'm thirsty. They are water hogs, but they're still loving life. And as soon as they get some more water, these leaves that you see that are a little downward, let's see if you can see how they're, I've got, oh, can you see how those leaves are downward? That's a sign you need to water. But I know my system will go off, so I'm not too worried. And we must be getting plenty of water because we have no brown. These are first editions little hotties, and I say it every time. If you want something that can grow in bright, hot sun, this is the west side of the house that gets the hottest sun of the day, just beating down on it. They're loving life. And they're in rocks. And then I'm sure you can't miss those gorgeous Mini Vista, proven winners, Mini Vista Indigo Supertunias. They are planted in GardenSoxx. I have a video on GardenSoxx if you want to look it up. But I wasn't about to dig in all of these rocks. And GardenSoxx to the rescue. Look at this. Just gorgeous. I think what I love the most about Mini Vista Indigo, I love the different colors. It's a mix. So as they age, they get a little lighter. And I think that mix is just stunning. And then in the back, this is Proven Winners Little Lime Punch. Now these are about, I think it's in its second full growing season, so they're still babies. And I don't know if this camera does it justice, but they are turning. Look at that. Here, I found some in the shade. So they're turning already. And I can't wait to see how deep they get. Isn't that pretty? Sorry for the shade, the shadows. Right now it is a more like a cotton candy pink, and I can't wait for it to get its punchy color. Here in the front of the house, in the front of the garage, I have 4 pots. These are self-watering pots. I have a video on how I made these self-watering pots. And they are planted with Proven Winners Butterfly Gara, just 1 plant, and Supertunia Jazzberry. And there are 4 plants in this one. And it's already going down, getting close to the ground. And here's my little vignette that I always like to capture. Probably not the best time of day because there's a lot of shadows. Here's from the other side. And look. Oh, how stunning. This is my lollipop crabapple tree. It's coral burst crabapple. And look, for the first time, I actually have little berries. I can't believe it. It's our first time. This tree is 5 years old. It took this long. I was beginning to think that maybe I needed like a male and a female for it to produce berries. Or maybe someone planted a plant like this close by finally and they pollinated. I don't know, but I finally have berries. And they're supposed to be the type of berries that stay on, they don't drop, so I'm not gonna have a mess below. And I'm hoping that they get a real pretty red and that birds will have them once the leaves drop. They'll remain until the birds eat them up. Below that, I have the coral bells, Heuchera. Oh, isn't that beautiful? And these are tiny Quickfires. Let's see if I can get a pretty one. They turn green. They start out a beautiful bright white. They're the first ones to bloom. Then they turn green, and now they're starting to turn their pink, mauve. This one in the back is struggling. It's tiny. It doesn't get enough sun, I don't think. But these 3 in the front are doing really well. So I was actually thinking about underplanting with these underneath my vanilla strawberry hydrangea tree that I showed you at the beginning. What do you think? Back here I have more little hotties. They reach for the sun, so that's why they're not as pretty and mounded as the other ones. And in these pots right here, I have pink cashmere Superbina. It's beautiful when it blooms, but I'll be honest with you, it's truly not my favorite. I think it's the coloring. It's just not, I wish it were covered with buds, and it's not the case. It will go into a lull and be green in many spots. It'll be green like this for a while before it blooms again, and that's just not for me. And then up here, the ferns are looking fantastic. Oh, I love them. They're on self-watering pots as well. And these are on drip. In the front here, I have more little hotties. And the roses just keep blooming. And they don't get any bigger than this. It's a beautiful little hedge. Those are getting gobbled up by the hydrangeas. But there are, I think I have 9 plants, 9 rose plants here. These are Proven Winners mango, salsa mango, or mango salsa. I get it mixed up. Isn't that pretty? Out here in front, my light post area, I almost waited a week too late on these, because you can see I'm starting to get some brown buds that I need to deadhead, but it was in its prime last week. But look, see what I mean by spotted? These are Calypso Rose. I love them. It's one of my favorite roses. Look at those rose buds. So that's really more of a peach. It may not come off that color in the camera, but it's peach. Then it goes to a beautiful pink, and then it'll get spotted, and then it turns white. More Calypso Rose back there. I have a total of 8 Calypso Rose in here. Here in front, I have drift roses. These are peach drift roses. There are 3 of them. And like I said, I'm about a week late. They were in their prime last week, but they're still looking pretty. Here are the Calypso Rose on this side. This is my deer and rabbit detractor that goes off, and then at night it makes a loud sound. I have that on my Amazon storefront if you're interested, and trust me, it works. Rose of Sharon still blooming. Look at all these buds that still need to bloom. Oh my gosh, be still my heart. Out by my mailbox, I have Mini Vista Whites, Supertunia Mini Vista Whites. These are Proven Winter flowers, petunias. And my cone flowers are gorgeous. I have to show you this one. I showed you, I'm pretty sure in the last video, I have a Siamese twin here. Look at that. There's even a triplet trying to grow out the center of it. I have a twin 1, twin 2, and twin 3. Triplets. That's funny, but it's healthy. They're all the same, believe it or not, but they're in different stages. So they turn different colors as they age. And this is Coral Jade Sedum. It's starting to turn the coral color here in front. These came on later in the season. This was early in the season. Isn't that beautiful? And as promised, I'm on my back patio, my back porch, upper balcony. I don't know if you can still see how big these truly are, but look how healthy. Oh, they are loving life here, and they get about 4 hours of sun a day. This is the late evening sun, perfect for them, north side of the house. And here's a view from my balcony. This is the hill that I showed you. Gives you a different viewpoint. And this is my backyard view. I have gorgeous autumn joy sedum back at the pond. I rarely water it, maybe once a week if we have a drought. Haven't watered these all summer because of our rain. But you can see the less water they get, the better they are, because they're full and bushy as compared to the ones up front underneath the tree. They are spindly and tall, whereas these are shorter and bushy. So this is the view from the corner as people were walking by. And here is the back corner of the house. I'm standing on the sidewalk. And look, those limelight primes, you can see them peeking their heads over the hill. Oh boy, that's gorgeous. And they'll only get bigger every year. My roses are pretty much done over here. I should cut them all back so that they can have another flush. It's finding the time. I'm an educator, administrator, and school is starting up soon and I'm running out of time. I'm sure some of you can relate to that. So you might see some weeds in the garden. But I just had the video to show you what is changing. And I'll probably be back in another 3 to 4 weeks and I'll show you all the beautiful fall colors. Stay tuned. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.